Greetings, beautiful soul family. This is Tarun Hari here with another Too Much to Talk About, and I am so excited. First, let me say happy 1st of December. We have reached the final year, the final month of the year of 2025. Can you believe it? The year has gone so fast. It's absolutely blinding, the speed of how the year's gone. I'm just shocked at the intensity of how time is just evaporating right in front of us. I remember the first Too Much to Talk About series I done for 2025, and I was highlighting the amount of massive change that would happen this year, and it has not failed on that. Now, the amount of changes that has happened, my word, it's been a tsunami on many levels. You could say, you have to just shake your head and wonder, boy, if any more turbulence can be sustained with the amount of change and reconfiguration of things that is just happening. The next day, everything could change in your life. Every single iota could just change. And that propensity to be used to change is hard to achieve in the first place. The idea of getting used to change is probably one of the hardest things to digest psychologically. Even the body needs time for change and adapt. But the rapid speed of how change is demanding us to come and step up to it, it's relentless. It's ridiculous. And the real thing is, if you don't set your own parameters as to what change should be for you, you're gonna get pulled around like a rag doll from left to right, up, down, all over the place. If you don't write down, if you don't set out what change looks like for you, and as fast as things are changing, you got to be able to change that fast too. Same like how you have to change your clothes at daytime, or change your what needs changing. Change, it means you have to change. You can't stay the same. It's sacrilege to stay the same. I don't even know what to say to kind of highlight that concept of embracing change and the importance of it too. And knowing that this year was going to be a rapid increase in the concept of how the human psyche deals with change, preparation for that, and also adaptation and flexibility to that change was my number one priority. And sometimes you have to dismantle every single component of a system and build it back up. And sometimes you build it back and it's almost complete. I have to pop it down again and build it up again. And these processes of evolution, you have to be willing to put yourself through it. Most people are scared to move from the get-go because of external judgment, because of risk factors, because of so many things that smite the opportunities of change that you can forge and create for yourself. It's almost like you wait to be pushed over to the edge, and that now change is being demanded of you. It's like, the pressure. When really what constitutes change is you adapting to a real concept of what it means to reach your potential. Now, these words, they fly around so easily. They fly around like it's chips or white socks or something that you just throw away or just completely disregard. And you completely overlook its relevance because of A, defiance, B, staccatus, and C, excusitis. Those are the three pillars that we all hold on to. We all do it. We all do it. Even me, guilty of it. Guilty as charged. And this is why I put myself through certain programs to recognize and become aware of where I'm really hiding or covering up the guilt with a whole heap of excusitis and staccatus, and really address it and step towards change. Now it's easily said, but there's a pillar, there's a foundation that you have to take on board. There's a foundation which is completely opposite the status quo. It's totally opposite the new norm. It's totally opposite the going trend. It's totally opposite what society, peer pressure, even to the extent of certain levels of religiosity and spirituality, have you dare believe about yourself. And without these pillars, without these foundations, you will get caught in the trap of subjugation to X, Y, Z. And your psyche would run rampant on you that you end up, again, defiant, staccatus, and excusitis. I done a talk the other day on Vipassana, which is like a little hint. You don't have to go to the extremes of, I mean, those that do Vipassana, I really do sincerely show my humble obeisances and honor their process of becoming, because it's such a deep process. It's a really, how do I say, it's an extreme process that one could go through to really meet a level of concept, to meet one's true nature. And even then, I wouldn't say it would come to fruition because you've just done 10 days of Vipassana or you've just done Vipassana. Absolutely not. What that process does is shell off what is in the way. So now you can process the process of becoming. Now you can walk in the real light of becoming. Now you can put these pillars in place. And these pillars that support your belief system in every step that you make really does change everything. When you, quote unquote, dare to not even believe, know, dare to walk in a space of knowing, regardless if the proof is out there in terms of its manifestation, in the terms of its concept of results, being the outcome being of reward or success or failure, or all of these kind of connotations. You know, we're quick to judge the outcomes and we pay very little attention to the development of the psyche that is going through the process of manifesting outcomes or manifesting outcomes. There's a process, there's something that's happening to that individual that is greater than the outcome, whether it's a success or failure. This is why it's important to go through as much quote unquote ideas of what you consider failure to be, because they're not really failures. If you're scared to step out and take that risk because of the concept of failure, you've already failed. And the process, no. Let me rephrase that. You haven't failed. You've succeeded. You've already succeeded. Because anything you say you can or you can't do is absolutely true for you, because you made it so. But can that change? If you stick by the parameters of defiance, stockitis, and excusitis, change goes out the window. You would devolute. You won't evolve, you would devolve. Defiance, stockitis, and excusitis. Those are the three pillars of the shadow self. And we all know that it's there. We all know that there's a shadow self within us that doesn't quite fit the fullness of the greatness of who we are. And that shadow self is eating away at the concept of our greatness. And it's for us to challenge that shadow self and bring what feels like taboo talk into reality. So it's no longer just a hearsay. It's no longer just a belief. It's a knowing. It's a scary, when I say scary, the feeling of the knowing, it's so inside this, it's like a real strong sense of beauty and love and self-nourishing that goes on, as self-reassurance. The world can't see this. It's not for the world to see. But there's something that's happening in the consciousness of the heart when you're acting from a space of knowing that something greater is working through you, for you, as you. And you've got to set that knowing up. That sense of knowing is greater than the outcome, greater than either being rich or being poor. It's mastering a space of not just the known or the knower or the knowing, but the I am. Now we mainly get stuck in this space of, especially when we use this I am, and I've said it before, that we use words in such a way that we imprison ourselves with these words till we destroy ourselves. Them of us saying in our Christianity, it goes something like, you shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. You shouldn't take the Lord's name in vain. In other words, you should take the Lord's name with as much high regard that you could possibly find within your being. Like, don't bring no form of offense to the idea of the Lord's name within your being, within your mind, within your intelligence, within your whole process of thinking of the Most High. Regardless of what spiritual path you walk on or what religious path you walk on. Well, here's the other side. You shouldn't, the same reverence that you give the Most High, it's absolutely necessary that you give yourself the same reverence. It's absolutely necessary that you start that process of internal programming that you and the Most High are one. This is the most scariest road to walk down when I'm saying it's the opposite to the normal Christian concept. No, it's not me and the Most High is one. No, that's blasphemy. That's this, that's that, that's holy. But no, sir. So, you know, look at it like this. You have the omnipresent, the omnipotent, the omniscient aspect of the Most High. It says that in the Bible. He's everywhere. Omnipotent means his potency is everywhere. There's nowhere missing. The potency of the Most High is everywhere. Now, the senses of the Most High, omniscience, that means he can smell you, he can see you, everything. He can, everywhere. All the senses are everywhere. Omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. That means he's present everywhere. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Those three things we've established to mean omni, everywhere, infinite, not finite, infinite. So why does that infinite scope manage to miss, how does it manage to miss you out? How does it manage to go around everything else and miss you out, just curve around you like, no, the Most High can't be in me. It's just gone around me, it's disappeared, it's there, yeah, it's there, but not in me. How can that be? Don't make sense. Some ways, something's lost right there in the calculations. So the fact that you're feeling, you're putting yourself in a sort of lesser connotation, straight there, you're putting yourself in a downward trajectory of being. Now, I'm not saying that you have to start thinking, yeah man, me a God, me a this, that, blah, 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 blah. I am the Most High. I've got a slideshow, what I put together, which would help make it a lot easier to understand. So let me jump straight into that. Because this is something I am so passionate about. Right, let's dive into it. How does Tarun do Tarun? Let's dive into this. So my first thing is to get to know thyself. It's a consistent program. It didn't stop yesterday. It doesn't stop now. Even now as I'm talking, I'm still getting to know thyself. There's no end game to the point of getting to know thyself, because the greatness of what self is, outside of trying to call yourself the Most High. But before you even get to the Most High, do you know how great you actually are? Do you know how great you could actually be? Do you know how great you could actually feel? Do you know how great you could actually resonate? And this process of getting to know thyself is, again, accepting that the perception of getting to know myself even more accepts change. So because I don't know, not everything can be revealed. The more I get to know, the more things about myself starts to reveal. The more that I allow myself to know, the more things will reveal about itself. So that concept of allowance to change, to get to know myself, is the first thing in terms of, and again, sometimes you have to be by yourself to actually see yourself properly. Because looking and listening for the opinion of others can be a great downfall. Because you're always trying to manipulate others to talk good of you and this and that. No, you have to be able to say, okay, let me get to know myself and see what doesn't work about me. For me, not for other people, for me. So the get to know myself, get to know thyself, there's a process to it. Because you have to ask yourself, am I the knower, the knowing, or the known? This is going deeper into the subject around knowing, around the concept of buddhi, vidhi, intelligence, how it actually works, how it grooms and blooms. The more you water it, the more you understand the aspects of how these things come to be in your perception of going through everyday life. What does that actually mean? So, as long as there is ajnan, ignorance of self, the self, atma, is a jnana, an object which is like jnana. It's actually JN, but this is done a little pronunciation thing to get the, so you remember it's actually pronounced G. But when we're talking about the object, think about this. This is deep. As long as there is ignorance of self, in other words, you don't know yourself. You know your habits, you know your preferences, you know your belief system, you know your mind, but you still don't know self. That's quite deep. So you're living with all these false parameters at play. At this way, the self, the true self, now becomes an object to be known, because you're not living from the point of self. You've objectified it as if it's not actually you. Because when you say I am, you don't really normally say I am myself. You know, the self. Like it's another identity, like my mind, that, you know, the true self, the true self. When you say the true self, the fact that you're using the puts it as an object. I am true self. You really hardly ever hear that. So when you're working from a space of ignorance, the self is an object to be realized. This is when you go into meditation. This is when you go into that space of serenity, when you plug out. This is when you go into the silence. This is when you go into the realm of heart consciousness. This is when you get into the realm of the true self. And when you step into that space after self-realization, the self is the knower. So you've come from ignorance to being the knower. And what does this actually mean? What does this actually feel like? How does this actually express itself when we talk about the universe, the idea of higher intelligence working through you, for you, as you? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? What does it resonate like? Well, first of all, no one, and I mean it, no one has the right to judge you, because no one really knows what you have perceived on your journey, regardless of what's happened on the external aspects. In other words, I remember when I was traveling a lot when I was doing music, and I'd go to America and I'd meet some rich, top people, famous in the public eye. And we say, yeah, meet up, link up. Yeah, come round by my place. Yo, you see when I go around their yard, the yard is desolate, grey walls, floorboards, like the place needs some redecorating, fridge empty. And they're in the place depressed. Depressed. Pure suicidal talk. And like, yeah, I thought I'd invite you around because you felt like a really good energy and somebody to talk to outside of the music crap that was going on. But I just don't feel life. I just don't feel it. And then my money like, yo, I don't even want to give away names. But just to show you, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're this, whether you're that concept of self-judgment, that concept of how the public sees you, and you're trying to keep up with the this and you're keeping up with the that. You feel like you've sold your soul there. What you're doing, you're doing it. Looks like you love what you're doing, but you don't love what you're doing. You're not walking your space of duty. You're fulfilling, maybe it's a contract doing type of music you don't actually want to do, or whatever. Which is a lot of the cases when it comes to signed artists. They normally end up, they start off with this keen aspiration of wanting to bring something genuine that's about them, and they end up getting bulldozed through marketing meetings and A&R meetings into doing songs that have absolutely no form of credibility, but it will sell. It will sell. I've been there. I've seen how they've ruined artists. There was a concept known in the music business. As soon as they get you to take off all your clothes on the video, that was a signal that we've done with you. That was a signal. So they would slowly strip an artist's clothes off, and as soon as they got them down to literally naked, that's the last video you're going to see of them. Yeah, so I don't know what it's like nowadays. It's probably got a little more gory than that, but that was the temperament back in the days. But let's go through this, because this is actually deep, because we're talking about self-infliction here. I've said it before. The greatest thing that the Most High has to tolerate is how you think of yourself. What you think of yourself. The biggest sin you could do is think lowly of yourself. The biggest energetic thing that you could do to disrupt your whole process of evolution is think lowly of yourself, regardless of what the external things look like. The minute you take on this concept of thinking lowly of yourself because the outcomes were lowly or this weren't going like how you planned or whatever, no, you're evaluating the journey from a completely different point of view. One of the greatest books that opened up my eye to this was a book called The Alchemist. And that was such a powerful reading, coupled with listening to motivational speakers like Les Brown, like Brian Tracy. And they said, you know, don't look at failure as the end of the world. It's a lesson. Go out there and fail as much as you can so you can learn through the process to get into a gear that after you go through all of that, it's just like when you're learning to ride a bike. You off a drop first before you can start the wheelie. Most people don't graduate to that. They just manage to. Most people don't even get to learning how to ride bike to change gears on the bike because of the fear of riding bikes. In a judgment on their capabilities. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, we're going to get to that. All of that is a secret writing towards your scripting of I am. When you say I can't do this, I can't, that's all written into your I am. So no one has the right to judge you because no one really knows what you have been through. They might have heard the stories, but they don't feel what you felt in your heart consciousness. Don't change yourself for other people. The right people will love the real you. Be yourself always. Cornerstone. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the backbiters. Don't listen to the criticizers. You have to be resolute on that. Let me just go back a page so we can tie it up to understanding how to get over the process of the ignorance of self. Seeing self as the object and the process of self-realization. What does it feel like? So while this pillar is there, knowledge, the object of knowledge and the knower, these are the three factors that induce action. The instrument of action, the act itself, and the doer, these are the three constituents of action. So if any of these things fall short in your vibration, the knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower, you don't get the spark to act. Foundational things I'm putting out here first. This is important. When I highlighted and looked at the what constitutes the learner autonomy within the individual and what that means to push that concept of the learner autonomy to its highest. So that it's not just word say, it's vibratory, it's you, it's your signature. Let me ground it in because it's getting big, it's getting so big. Let me ground it in. Go back to more just to show you one more time because I don't want you to miss it. What does it feel like? As long as there is ignorance of self, the self is now the object to be realized. After self-realization, the self is the knower. What is it that is known? In the Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 17, verse 2, it says, the knower of truth is never miserable in the world. For the whole universe is filled with himself alone. Now you must be thinking, boy, Tarun, you definitely gone cuckoo right there, so. And this is what I was going to say. The difference between the chalk and the cheese, or the difference between how you would normally think, how what we call normal thinking, and higher thinking. When we say we are one, the oneness of that which we are is the oneness of the silence. The oneness within the silence that resonates everywhere, that creates everything to resonate, fills the whole universe. That omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent energy fills the whole universe. And it's so, this is the scary thing. You are so integrated into this omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent aspect of the universe that it just can't do without you. It never will. It's not planning to at any time. How you perceive and work that concept of your relevance and perception of that wholeness within you, that's down to you. The universe, take as long as you want, but you can't change what it is. You can't actually change what it is. Your conscious DNA, the roots of it, you can't change it. It's imperishable, it's unchangeable, it's immovable. That concept of you being for eternity is factual. You are an eternal being. You wasn't created, you're eternal. How much you can relate to that, take your time. Take your time. But that truth is not going to change. You go to heaven, you go to hell, you go over there, so you go over there, so you reincarnate, you do this, you do that, blah, 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 whatever. You're still eternal. The Bible said, boy, if you don't follow Jesus, you're going to end up in eternal damnation. That's a long time. So, be saved and I will give you eternal life. But you've got eternal life already. The relevance of that eternality is down to you and how you perceive that eternality playing out. So again, when you go into meditation and you go into that sweet spot and you go into even the chanting on the beads, like for instance, the beads, you got the tip of the third finger, that's for, sorry, when you're doing the beads, it's your, third finger. The tip of the finger is the generating aspect. The middle of the finger is the operational aspect. And the deep aspect of the corner is the destructive aspect. So if you want to generate, you meditate on this finger with the beads. If you want to operate, you meditate with this finger on the beads, your third finger. And if you want to destroy, you meditate using the inner aspect of the third finger. And when you know that you're doing these things, and when you know that you're involving, you know that you're experientially putting yourself through the process of knowing that you're putting in the input and you're watching the output come to pass. But without the act of working from a space of knowing, this is where it gets all shady, because this is it. We question our I am. We question it. And we have every right to question it. We have every single right to question the I am about us. But most of the times when we're questioning it and leaving it there and questioning it and not dealing with it and questioning it and disregarding it with no real depth. And it's a oxymoronical form of questioning it, because when we question it, it's almost like the question already has the answer within it. And the answer doesn't favor alignment with the bliss that you really are. It doesn't favor creating a feeling that gives you the concept of shouting out from the top of the roof, I am intuitive, I am imaginative, I'm tenacious, I am bold, I am creative, I am dependable, I am intelligent, I am reliable, I am direct, I am appreciative, I am resilient, I am valuable, I am brave, I am motivated, I am resourceful, I am free-spirited, I am appreciated, I am successful, I am adventurous, I am worthy, I am empowered, I am strong, I am assertive, I am supportive, I am courageous, I'm funny, I am capable, I am beautiful, I am genuine. We hardly say these things. We hardly say it with meaning. It's normally, I am vexed, I am fed up, I am upset about this, I am disappointed with that, I am afraid for you, but I'm afraid for you, but I'm in a like, I am everything opposite to this. So you might as well say, I am not. You're not feeding the I am in the right way to know what I am is. Because the more that you bring these things to life in your speech, in your belief, in your system of fine-tuning yourself towards your goals, your outcomes, if this isn't at the core blueprint, if you don't believe this about yourself, you can't do nothing. And this is why it's important to question ourselves, because if we're not feeling like these things, we have to question why not. So this is where it really starts to come into play, and especially with the 12 days of consciousness, how vigorous the whole 24 chapter program is. To know oneself is, above all, to know what one lacks. It is to measure oneself against truth and not the other way round. The first product of self-knowledge is humility. So when it comes to doing the 12 days of consciousness, and trust me, I'm as like an open book to myself. I put myself down into the space of being a wreck, a wretch, useless, like put into, like I let the shadow self speak. Speak, I want to hear you. I want to write it down. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to really write it down. And then I build a proper belief system to understand. I map it out properly to see, where does that come from? 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 This is how you do proper shadow work. You have to go into the shadow and see, let it out, allow it to come out, and see what it is supported by. And you start looking at to see where the energetic vampires are. You start to look at where doubt is. You start to look at where corrupt formulas are. And you address them. You address them sharp. So in this way, you look for what is lacking in your I am. You look for what is lacking, let me go back, in you talking, you resonating, you being. Not doing, being. Achieving a state of being that doesn't involve doing. Achieve a state of being based on a set of the highest principles that you can perceive, because would you say that the Most High is imaginative, tenacious, bold, creative, dependable, intelligent, reliable, direct, and all the rest of it? Obviously, and then some. These traits were created for us to embrace and unfold within us. So the more that we can identify ourselves with characteristics that favor the qualities of the Most High, that you perceive the Most High to be, then you are coming into alignment. Your actions, your word, your power, your resolve, your process of manifestation, you'll care for the outcome, whether it's good or bad or whatever. You'll be totally indifferent, because you now appreciate the journey. You're now walking in the steps of the true alchemist. You're now resonating in a much more peaceful resonance. Don't care what the number, why you're bossy, why you're not biggie, why I saw you feel good. I said, why don't you don't cast pearls to swine. Don't tell them. But make sure you establish it for yourself, because when you establish this resonance for yourself, that willingness to act, that resilience towards whatever change looks like, whether it's Hurricane Melissa or a sister, our brother, our whatever, your resilience to change and so forth, and your flexibility, your bounce back ability, all the rest of it, the concept that you will never perish will come into play. That don't mean to say you're not dead. You will transcend. And the idea is to reach a resonance that you can hold on to, a resonance that when you transcend in that resonant state, rather than in a depressed, ugly state, because that's where you would perish. And this could come out of whether you're rich or you're poor. You can achieve that resonance of ugliness regardless of the outcome. The outcome could look like gold. It could look like, but the I am signature, what does it really look like? is one fit for transcendence. And the thing that gets in the way is, before you get to I am, is I won't, I can't. I want to, how do I do it? I'll try to, I can, I will. Now look from I won't to I will. Look how many steps there are. And this is, by the time you get over these micro steps, and these again, this is what we go through on the 12 days of consciousness. We look at what is it that won't happen? Why won't? What is the shadows? Because this is the thing about Christmas time. They allow the shadow self to come out and be the biggest jingle of all times for the whole year. Because everybody's doing it. Rather than controlling it, you're displaying it. And through that display of the shadow self coming out in such a brash manner, by the new year come, you're zapped. Everything is, Christmas, quote unquote, is not about investment. It's a loss. Full loss. Even the presents don't last a year. It's a full loss, like you underscore it with 2 pens, capital letters. Christmas is not an investment, it's a loss. Not only financially, energetically, psychologically, health-wise, it's a loss. The whole thing is a loss. When really it's designed for you to step into the space of becoming successful. This is what the actual winter solstice is all about. Check out your I won't do's. Check out I can't do's. Check out what I want to do. Check out how do I do it. Check out the process of trying it. Take those steps to realize, hold on, I can actually do this. Once I've put a pin on the noise pollution, once I zipped up the bag of disruption and obstacles, and now I'm focused, I've got the plan, I've got everything, I've cleared out the cupboard of stupidness. So no longer does defiance even have a weight. Because you're taking on that defiant self. You're, all right, tell me why you're being defiant. Come on, let's have it. Get it out. Be honest. Let it all out. Why are you defiant? Spit it out. Defiant to what? Well, whatever it is, like what changes could you actually do? What kind of fine-tuned changes could you go to your bed early? Could you fix your diet? Could you educate yourself more to get a higher income? Could you sort out your health a little bit more? Like really, there's 7 areas of your life to take governance of. And we look at all of those sectors and why you won't, can't, want to, how you, in all of the 7 sectors. This is what the 24 chapter journaling is all about. Really breaking it down to find out what it is. Let me go back. To know thyself is, above all, to know what one lacks. Whether it's in skill, whether it's in energy, whether it's in appropriateness, whether it's in enthusiasm. What is lacking and why? Face the why. Be truthful to yourself about the why. And from there, you now step into that concept of the inner God within you coming to full light, where you can walk and appreciate your walk, your path, your concept of loving to live and living to love, and you plug in, you tune in, you tap in, you have purpose, you have drive, you've got a goal, you've got notion, you've got motion, you've got deliberation, you've got attention, you've got focus, you got purpose, and that inner ingenuity taps in, turns on, and starts to shine through you, for you, as you, because you dared to address finding out what you lack. You committed to the process of pen to paper diligently, and it's almost like you were spring cleaning the lenses. So something more powerful, something more magnetic, something more attractive, something more undeniable, something more irrefutable, something more unstoppable. And it's not to say that it even has to be to other people's liking, but it works. It might be the thing that's just needed to cut through the ignorance, but it works. It might be the thing to attract love, but it works. So when you go into the journaling, the this, the that, and then you go into meditation and you go into alignment, something happens. The sweetness of sensation within your being, there's no words to actually fully describe it. When you feel the omnipotent, the omnipresent, the omniscient, appreciating you, appreciating it in your actions. So that appreciation of knowing that I am can reach a sense of its highest ordeal. How is that achieved? These are the steps. First is awareness. Then understanding the vision, the planning, the commitment, the action, the persistence that leads to growth. Dare to dream. Dare to accept. Dare to move on a different principle. It doesn't need to be just you and you alone. Tap into a consciousness that is pervading the entirety of the universe and allow it to, this is where it becomes all from subjective, objective, the object, it. These concepts, these lower word vibrations, because this it is literally everything and you have access to being it. And the more that you use that access to being it, or being or being omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient in your meditation, when you're in that space, it's almost like that aspect of universal consciousness taps into other things to arrange things to happen for you, for your manifestation to come together. It starts synchronizing other elements in the universe to consciously align and bring about what it is or how it is you believe the universe to be for you. So this unique thing that you have the ability to develop a unique perspective that you can enjoy. And if you're not out to look for that perspective to enjoy, you will never grow. So the first thing is to look for that perspective that you can enjoy being you. Ooh, at the highest level. Ooh, well, a lot of people will think, no, that sounds a little bit narcissist, that sounds a little bit this, that. What have we been led to believe? What have we been led to act on? Normal social medium, the connotation is to accept that you're broken, that you don't quite fit in, that you're a mismatch. If we go by what is normal, you're not getting no rating. What are you talking about? You're not getting no ratings. You'll be left subjugated. I was in the park today and I was doing a little video, and this woman walked past me and she started talking. I said, "Coco, something like cock," and something. I just knew she was insulting me. I just knew it. For a split second, I was thinking, that's an insultive slur you just said there. And you're doing it with a smile on your face and all of that. And immediately, my mind went to that safe space. Not that vexation space of like, who do you think you're talking to, and blah, 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 and this and that. I went to a space of, hold on. I resonate with the omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient one. Do you know who you're offending? Do you know what you're offending? Do you know what you're actually doing right now? I feel sorry for you. I actually feel sorry for you. I actually feel sorry for what you just done. You don't actually know what you're doing. Oh my gosh. So in this way, that polarity of dealing with situations, scenarios and things, it now knocked me off of my post. Sometimes I walk down the road and I was, this is probably about a few months ago, I remember doing this quite a few times. I'm with Sister Letitia, we're out, and I'm like, bon dia, boa tarde, bon dia, and I see someone coming and I can see that they ain't gonna respond. Bon dia, no response. Bon dia, and I could see that, they're doing all that. I said, look at this one. This one is afraid to look into the face of God. What is going on with this one? This one want disrespect the face of God. This one, you are a mad person. And I'm looking at, I'm making up the most noise. Nowadays, when I walk through Tavira, oh, Tarun. It's like they're saying hello to God. So the reason why I'm kind of drilling this in, that vision of what you see for yourself, where you do not care about anybody else's opinion on the matter. Whether they think you're doing something good, whether you're doing something bad, whether you think you're doing, it's your learning, it's your development, it's your process, it's your vision. And once you can hold on to that vision, you plan on how you're going to bring that vision into play, and then you get committed to the plan. Now you can take action on the plan. Most people have awareness and they jump to act with no vision, no planning and no commitment. So where does persistence come in? If vision wasn't put in, if planning wasn't put in, and if commitment weren't drilled in, how is persistence going to come into play? Can you imagine you water a seed in the ground? It's in the ground, in soil, and the soil is covering it and blah blah. The seed bursts, water bursts, and can you imagine it going halfway through the soil and going, "Child, man, it's too dark. I can't be bothered with this, man. It's giving me all of this water. I'm just gonna drink the water and stay right here." No. The plant has a vision that is greater than the darkness that it's within. And it's got the vision, because the vision is so strong it can't see the dark. It's going through the dark until that light comes. And then when the light comes, it's still going to keep developing, and it's still going to grow. And it's going to come from a little stem to a whole bush now. And people are going to come cut off. And the more that they cut off, it's almost like it's giving, they might prune the bush, but it keeps growing. It keeps giving more. It persistently grows. Winter comes, it loses all its leaf, it goes into a deep state sleep. It dreams of itself being bigger than it was the year before. You say, yeah, this year I done 10 roses. Next year, I'm doing 15 roses. When it's in the winter, where it prepares, it doesn't do it midsummer. It plans and creates that vision and that trajectory in the winter. So ultimately, it's to seek to perform your duties to your highest abilities. This way your actions will be blameless. This is an Egyptian proverb. Also, this is echoed in the Bhagavad Gita. That once you perform your duties to your highest abilities, right intent, right aptitude, this way your actions will be blameless. Now, it doesn't matter if it failed or if it was success or this or that, because the act, it wasn't about how is the act going to play out, because in the moment you enjoyed performing your duty to your highest ability. That was the reward right there. If you lose sight of that, you're going to always be fearful of, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Oh my gosh, it's not going to work. I put all that effort and all that energy into it. Oh my gosh, it didn't work. Now what am I going to do? Do it again, just do it better. No, but I can't. I just put all that effort into it. You haven't learned. Most of the times, it's not what you did do, it's something you didn't do. You overlooked something. The devil is in the detail. So seek to perform your duties to your highest ability. This way your actions will be blameless. And you'll feel it within yourself that the more that you operate on this level, the outcomes doesn't matter, because you knew you acted to your highest ability. And when you act on your highest abilities, the results will speak for itself. So, again, putting it out there, to know oneself above all is to know what one lacks. It is to measure oneself against truth and not the other way around. Don't try and bend reality to what doesn't even work for you. Because it's when you sit down and you allow the shadow self to speak, do your worst, and you sit back and analyze it, you really do realize how now this ain't befitting. This needs to change, because something in you knows that you are not resonating in your highest bliss, your greatest truth, and your greatest sense of being. And those are the three principal things. That's the purpose of life. To reach and attain your highest bliss, resonate in your highest truth, and be in your highest state of being. Without those three things, life is a concept of suffering and pain. So, find your way, set small goals, create a plan, take action daily, embrace challenges, celebrate progress, and achieve self-motivation. These are the little things I put my mind through daily, through micro goal setting, even if it's a personal one, a business one, a spiritual one. Find your why. Set small goals, not big ones, because all the little small ones will add up to the big picture. It's like a jigsaw puzzle that all comes together. Sometimes you have the big goal set and you don't know how you're going to do it. You need the small goals to bring it all to come to play. Then you create a plan. Then you take action. It's almost like a little deeper insight to when I said awareness, vision, planning, commitment, action, persistence, growth. Another aspect of how you look at it from a psychological and an intellectual concept, not even emotional. And 7 steps to self-transcendence. Find meaning in life. Create something for the world, not for you. See the absolute beauty of the world, not the disgust of the world. Focus on the welfare of others. Find your own intrinsic motivation. Smile and be amazed and be open to others. Step above cultural reference. Step outside of what you know. There's more to know. To know yourself means you have to allow yourself to be exposed to things that keep you, exposed to things that are different to things that keep you in your limited space of existence. So I love going through these steps for myself. I absolutely love it. And even in the challenges of whether they are great outcomes or not, that learner autonomy, that process of just being, it's such a pleasure to be. And in that way, it's a pleasure to be Tarun. It's to play the process of evolution rather than devolution. To be mindful, aware, listening carefully, to paying attention to how it is I feel. What is this shadow self up to? Because the more that the shadow self is left rampant, it's the more it will start to destroy areas in my life, your life, anyone's life. The more you lock it in, lock it down, listen to it, and it's not about chastising it. It's not about chastising it. It's coming to terms, listening to it, developing a whole new different relationship, and aiding and healing the shadow self so you can become a stronger I am. And in the strength of your I am determines the strength of your aim for anything in life. The strength of your I am equates literally to your willpower and your aim in life for anything, for your level of worthiness, for your level of achievement, your quality of your perceived I am determines your quality of your aim. Change the I am, the aim will automatically change and manifest itself to prove you are who you say you are, because you know that. You remind yourself, you tell yourself every day, you go into that space to allow it to become. You nurture that space. You beautify that space. That space is your altar, your shrine. Whatever you want to determine it. But it's your space. And I do suggest that you should have that space in your home. I've got a beautiful altar here, and I'm beating up myself to make sure I visit the altar even more. Be in front of that space even more, and it will build up your resilience. It will build up your magnetism. It will build up your inner power. It will build up your sense of knowing. It will build up your strength of decision making. It will build up your strength of sticking to it rather than stuck. It will build you to a greater sense of I am. So I'm going to leave it right there because it's deep. The depth of it will be unfolded on the 12 Days of Consciousness course. And Today is the last day that I am leaving it open for the early bird tickets. It's the 1st of December. The official beginning of 10 days left. The 10-day countdown begins today. 12 days of consciousness. Getting into you, understanding and really highlighting what it is you lack emotionally, intellectually, enthusiastically, all the inner stuff that makes a big difference to how you go for your achievements in the world. Because if those principal things are out of alignment, your sense of greatness can't come to pass. It just can't come to be. If you're reliant on somebody else doing it for you, if you're reliant on stepping into a space of lack of accountability to understand who it is you are and work from that, you're going to end up losing out. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there and introduce, what was I going to say? What's the word I'm looking for? Welcome you to come over to the website, transcendingmatters.com. Check out everything that we do. Check out the information for the 12 Days of Consciousness course. It's also in the link and the description in the video below. So find out all the information. You've got 10 days to register. Today is the last day for the early bird tickets. 24 chapters journal to go through on the shadow work. I'm looking forward to going through it myself, because whatever more I can conjure up in the greatness of what I'm doing, listen, I'm going through it. Right now I've made some big major plans and I've done some big major things this year. You know, one of the biggest things that I took on was a solo retreat to reverse Parkinson's disease. How dare I? And to know that I managed to bring the symptoms of Parkinson's into remission within 7 days and took the gentleman off of his medication and brought it right down so he can now appreciate a new level of life, a new level of same concept, same Ayurvedic methods, same processes of meditations, and not even just Ayurvedic, the whole 9 yards, the whole entire 9 yards. But for the healing aspect of the body, it was very much Ayurvedic. But then there's the meditations, the sound healing, the eye care treatments, so much things that brought about wholeness to his life that he, even now to the day, Mia said in turn up by Pempamsey in Brixton the other day, talking about he wants to go dance. I'm like, no, it's too early, just calm down. You know, I know you was 10 years in fridge mode, literally stuck, can't move, stuck on medication that was pumped into him via, which all kicked off, which was the back end of antidepressants. So from antidepressants, the side effects from that gave him Parkinson's disease, where he slowly ended up incontinent, can't move, can't talk, can't walk, and we reversed that within 7 days. So we've got some major work to do. Knowing that that can be done, it just shows that we've got major work to do in fine-tuning even more and making more available portals for people to achieve healing, whether it's on a physical, physiological, psychological, mental, emotional, intellectual, or soul level. And this is what Transcending Matters is expanding its outreach to do more and more. Next year, we're looking forward to launching the ABC, the Advanced Biometric Call-Out Service, alongside with Pempamsey. We've got so much things planned. I'm not going to stop going. There's more that I can do, I don't know enough. I'm learning to know more of myself. So come and join us on this journey. It will be great. Right there when I left it, I'm going to go and rest off and say, stay blessed, stay bold, stay beautiful, and stay on the best side of being you. Hit that like and subscribe button for more videos when they come up. Ashe. Ciao for now.
Of only vanity and no love for humanity shall fade away, fade away. He who checks for only wealth and not for his physical health shall fade away, fade away. Though some believe in diamonds and pearl and feel like they're on top of the world, they shall fade away. Hear what I say. The rich is getting richer every day, and the little that the poor man got, it shall be taken away. Do you hear what I say? Yeah, hear what I say. The man who worships silver and gold shall surely, surely, surely lose his own soul, then fade away. One who's always acting smart and don't carry no love in his heart shall fade away. God is here and there and everywhere, and he knows when you play the game unfair. So people beware, or else you fade away. Hey, beware, or then you fade away. You gotta